Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody had an awesome day. Hope everybody's doing good. It is Thursday. It's been a minute, but we're back. We're glad to be back. I hope everybody enjoyed their day. We're going to give everybody a few minutes to get on, and then we're going to get started. I hope everybody's doing good. Hey, Portia. Hope everybody had a great day, and it turned out to be a nice day today. Hey, Charity. Hope you guys are doing well. It is Thursday, and this is S.O.P. Presents Tidbits with Peaches. S.O.P. is Shalom of Peace Ministries, where the pastor is Pastor Prophet James McCallum out of Archdale, North Carolina. And I am Peaches, and I hope you guys are doing well. Hope everyone has had a productive day. Hope this has been a good week for everybody. I haven't seen you guys in 2 weeks. It's good to be back. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to get on. So I'm going to do these businesses while we're waiting on everybody else. Today I'm going to start with we have a new realtor on board. Her name is Jessica Baxter. And if you're looking to sell or rent a house, she is with Keller Williams Realty Elite. Her name is Jessica Baxter. And if you're in Guilford surrounding areas, reach out to Jessica. We have Triple C's Cakes with Ashika Clark out of Greensboro, North Carolina. She does an awesome job with her cakes and her sweet treats. She does show a lot of her things on her page. We have B&J's Creations with Monica Gramlin. She is in the Anson County area. Monica does a lot of things. She does t-shirts. I've seen some sneakers that she's done for a wedding. Some Converse. They were really nice. Hey, sister. We have Cooking with Love with Taquita Marsh. She is a caterer out of Anson. She is opening up I'd seen something with her. I think it's her and her dad. So check her page out. And that's Taquita Marsh with Cooking with Love. We have Vanessa Price with VP Learning Center and 789 Nails out of High Point. We have Triple M Rentals, which is Charity, Jessica, and Evan. They do an awesome job. They did their first wedding last Saturday. They do balloon arches. They do retirement parties, birthdays. We have Pool Automotive. If you're in Moore County and you're looking for a car, go check out Pastor D.R. Bennett at Pool Automotive. We have By Faith Travels with my friend Lenore Bennett. And if you're looking to go on vacation, check her out. And I know you see her posting. She has a page. It's called By Faith Travels, and that's Lenore Bennett. We have Shay Jackson Green out of Anson County with Trendy Travels. She also owns Trendsetters Hair Salon there in Waysboro. We have Junior's Music Store out of Virginia. He has guitar lessons, piano lessons, drum lessons. He also does school band rental, and that's Junior at Junior's Music Store out of Virginia. We have Fair's Child Care out of Morven, North Carolina with Cynthia Fair. If your child is in need of daycare and you're in that Anson County area, check out Fair's Child Care. We have Trinity Coaching, which is myself. If you know anyone that's in need of a life coach, you can reach out to me. We have Drawers of Hope with my friend Sarah Graham, and she does awesome work in the community with kids, and she has a heart for kids. She needs volunteers, and if you're looking to do a donation, again, that's Drawers of Hope out of High Point, North Carolina with Sarah Graham. We have Picture Perfect with Kiara, which is our bass player. It's Picture Perfect with Kiki. She also does t-shirts. And we have Tim Marshall with Blessed Hands. He does pressure washing, lawn care, and car detailing. So if you're in Anson and surrounding areas, reach out to him and give him a call. He does excellent work. And I think he's branching off to do like little odds and ends in the house. So y'all check him out. And that's Blessed Hands with Tim Marshall. And I think that's all I have. I don't want to overlook anybody. Latoya Sullivan has Divine Accessories and Phenomenal You Accessories, and she's also out of Union County. And I think that is everybody that I have. And I want to take a few minutes and thank everybody who inboxed me when I sent out the message about giving me topics and things they would like to see me discuss. I thank everybody for their response, and everybody who sent me something. They sent me quite a bit, so I should have enough to keep me busy for a while. So I wanted to thank them for that. And I wanted to shout out my awesome niece, Jessica Baxter, because she keeps Tidbits with Peaches afloat. And without Jessica, there would be no Tidbits with Peaches. And I thank Charity for pushing me to do this. Sometimes I think we should acknowledge the people that work behind the scenes. So I thank Jessica um, for making sure that Tidbits is on every Thursday. Even when she's away, she still makes sure that my stuff is set up. So I thank her for that and all that she does behind the scene. And I thank Khadijah Welch for posting my videos. So I just wanted to say that and give people their flowers while they're living. Everybody that supports me, I love you and I thank you for your support, S.O.P. And everybody that watches, I thank you. With that being said, hey, Aunt Essie. With that being said, I'm having a hot flash, so I got to turn my ceiling fan. All right, for you young ladies who haven't experienced it yet, just keep living. You'll get there. Just keep living. They'll get there, won't they, sister? Okay, so one of the first ones I looked at was unforgiveness, and it stuck out to me because I had quite a few, like I said, inboxes. But unforgiveness and forgiveness was one of the main ones on the top of the list. So today we're going to talk a little bit about forgiveness and unforgiveness. And forgiveness is essentially the act of pardoning an offender or pardoning someone that has harmed you. And when I looked up forgiveness in the Bible, the Greek word translated forgiveness is literally means to let go. So when you forgive, you let go. You let go of the person or the thing that hurt you because holding on to it doesn't do you any good. And a lot of times forgiveness, you hear people say forgiveness is it's not about the other person, it's about you. Well, it truly is, because as long as you harbor that, and unforgiveness, I was looking and I was reading it in some passages, it was saying how sometimes unforgiveness is like torture. And forgiveness is not always about the other person, but it's about you so you can move on. Hey, Avis, so you can move on. Unforgiveness makes you feel angry, cold-hearted, bitter, and resentful. And that unforgiveness can really literally make you sick because you're harboring all of those feelings. It's ill-willed and you're still angry about it. So when you begin to forgive someone, it's not about them, it's about you. So you can move on past those feelings. You acknowledge that, it may have hurt you, and the person or the situation or whatever it may be in have hurt you. But in order for you to move forward in life, you have to let that go. You can't keep harboring unforgiveness, because at the end of the day, it's controlling you. That other person may have went on with their lives or gone on doing what they're doing, but you're still feeling some kind of way about it. That's what unforgiveness is, and that's what it does to your life. Letting go of that is releasing all of that. It's not saying that it didn't matter or that they were justified in doing it. It's just saying that, okay, this happened to me, I have to let this go, so I'm going to forgive this person. It's not for them, it's genuinely for you, so you won't stay stuck in that situation, because holding on to unforgiveness is keeping you shackled to that person and that pain. So when you just clearly let it go, you release it, then you can see that you can begin to move better. You're not as stressed. And sometimes unforgiveness make us hard, and you don't realize you're hard, but your demeanor is hard, and how you speak sometimes is hard. So when you begin to let it go, you can see that you begin to feel a cool or a calmness come about you, and your demeanor begins to soften. So in saying all of that, I had to learn that. And I never try to talk about anything that I haven't experienced myself. So in order to walk in forgiveness and walk into who you are and be in a good place in your life, sometimes you just have to let it go. Whether your letting go is talking about it, you have to get it out. Don't hold on to it. Don't harbor the resentment, because it builds up and it becomes bitterness, and it makes you bitter and it makes you hard. I was looking through a lot of things, and there's even a scripture in the Bible that talks about it. It's Matthew chapter 18, and Jesus tells us a parable about a man who refuses to forgive someone, even though God had forgiven him. So, in that sense, we have to look at it to say, if we are a believer and we're harboring unforgiveness, is that living, or is that doing what Jesus would do when he forgives us over and over and over? So who are we not to forgive? And please don't take it as I'm saying our feelings don't matter, because they do. They do. And sometimes some things hurt you to your core and it cuts deep, and you can't believe that thing has happened, or that person did that to you, but you have to release it. And sometimes I even sit and think, because there have been some things that cut deep, and I'm reminded of how they cut Jesus, but he forgave them, and what they did to him, he forgave them. And some of the things that we're experiencing, sometimes it cut us to the core, but we have to learn to walk in forgiveness and don't harbor resentment, and keep that, and don't keep it all bottled up either. If someone hurt you or made you feel some kind of way, the best thing to do is talk to that person. Don't hold it, but go in love. You always go in love. And I know sometimes when it first acquired, we can be on 1,000. But that's why I always say, don't handle anything when you're in your feelings, because you can't take words back. You cannot retrieve words back. You can't take them back. You can't sew them up. It's out there. So all you can do is try to build from that and go and talk it out, and make sure that you release it in love, and don't come from a bitter place. Just say, babe, do you know that upset me, or that hurt my feelings? Because sometimes even I have to stop a minute and be like, ooh, I want to get them right now. But if I did it in that moment, it wouldn't be good. So sometimes you do have to walk away from it and go back and think about it and calm down, and then go back at the situation and make sure that you're not harboring any kind of ill will or unforgiveness. It says when people withhold forgiveness or harbor resentments towards someone else, it often ends up making things worse for the person who has been wounded. So if you're harboring that unforgiveness, it's making it harder from you, even though you are the one who's wounded. But it's eating away at your soul, it's chipping away at you, and it's sitting there and it's causing you to stay stuck in that place, or in that feeling that you had when that person offended you. Even if you can't get to them, still release it. If you can't have a conversation with them, release it. And I'm a firm believer in writing things down. If I can't get to you, I'm going to journal. I'm going to write it down so I can get it out some kind of way, because I don't want that controlling my life or my day or how I'm living my life. So I have to find a way to get that out. So you have to find a way to release that so you can forgiveness. So you're not walking in unforgiveness. The dangers of unforgiveness is just this right here. Unforgiveness will imprison you in your past. So as long as you harboring unforgiveness, it's trapping you in your past. And what do we say about the past? We can't control that. I can't change it. You can't change what has been said. You can't change what conspired. You can't change how people reacted to you. But what you can do is make sure you're good, that you're not holding any resentment, or that you're not letting them keep you hostage in that situation or in that feeling. Let that go, because you don't want anything to keep you linked to up to the past. If you're stuck in the past, you can't walk in the now. And if you're not walking in the now, God can't guide you to your future. So in order to live in your now, so God can guide you to your future, you got to relinquish all of that unforgiveness that's tied to your past. And when you do that, you'll begin to see how you begin to feel better. It's not about the other person. It's not about the situation. It's about you and how you're feeling and what you're doing with it. Whatever happened, it's about what you're doing, how you reacted to it. So you have to be able to move past that unforgiveness and walk in forgiveness so you can walk into a better you. Hey, Tracy, please don't hold that and don't harbor those feelings. Sometimes it may be you feel like it's the hardest thing to do to forgive them, because you feel like they hurt you so bad, but you're still trapped in that moment. They have moved on. They're not even thinking about it anymore. It's done. But you have to be able to relinquish, to let that go. Don't let it make you bitter. Don't let it make you mean. Don't let it cause you any more distress or disturb your peace. You release that. You can't keep walking around with that saying, oh, they hurt me so bad. Okay, if they hurt you that bad, you relinquish that and give it to God. Let God do it. He said, vengeance is his. We don't have to do that. We don't have to fight those kind of battles, but you love them regardless. You have to let it go. And in order for us, if we're saying we're believers, we're required to forgive. We're required to love. You have to love them like Christ loved you, because he showed us what true love was. He showed us what agape love is. We have to learn to love like Christ loved, regardless. That's what one thing that we have to learn. Out of everything, love always conquers. It said love covers a multitude of sin. And when you hear people say you can love the Hell out of them, sometimes you can. Sometimes you can. And sometimes you have to do it that way. You have to be able to walk in forgiveness. As long as you fail to forgive an offender, you are shackled to your past. That's right. As long as you harboring that feeling, you are shackled to your past. Sometimes we got some hurt that's 10 years old, but it keeps you shackled to the past. So how are you moving forward if you still shackled to those feelings of that hurt that you kept and harbored from 10 years ago? Release it so you can move on. Release it so you can walk in peace. Release it so you're opened up to love. Release it so you can have a better life. Release it so you can have peace. Forgive them, forgive it, and move on. Don't harbor it. Don't have any anger towards them. You have to be able to move on. Unforgiveness will produce bitterness, and we know that to be true. Because sometimes it's so hard for us to let that thing go that we're holding on to it so tight. And you sometimes you don't even realize that you're holding on to it, but you are, because your demeanor has become hardened and bitter. And people are saying, why are they so bitter? Because they had past hurt that they have not dealt with. Yes, have to let it go and let God. That's right, Tracy. You have to let it go and let God. And there's something I rarely talk about. My I don't like to say my, but lupus or autoimmune diseases. But people who have certain things, stress and different things, make it worse for them. And when I seen Tracy's name pop up, my sister she suffers from lupus as well. So when you have those type things, stress and unforgiveness can be detrimental to us. So I'm learning that not to hold anything, whether you have an autoimmune deficiency or whatever, don't hold it, because it can cause anxiety. It causes stress. And we know stress is a silent killer. Anxiety is rough. So don't harbor those things. Don't hold on to it. And when you harbor unforgiveness, you're giving Satan an open door too. That's giving him room to maneuver. That's giving him room to add more onto it. So when you release it and say, God, it's in your hands. I can't do anything with this. I want this off of me. He said, bring all of your cares to him, for he cares for you. So whatever it is, you can take it to him. Whatever it is, if it's hurt, unforgiveness, whatever it may be, you can take it to him. And if you don't know how to deal with it, say, God, this thing is weighing on me. I don't want to walk in this anymore. I don't want to carry this burden with me anymore. I don't want to feel this pressure anymore. I want to be free from this. So God, I need you to help me to walk in forgiveness so I don't harbor unforgiveness. I need you to show me how to let this thing go. If you can't do it yourself, then you take it to God and ask God to help you do it. And the Bible tells us to be angry and sin not. That's in Ephesians 4:26. You can get angry, but sin not. But unforgiveness opens doors for all types of things. So we have to be able to let go of what was so we can walk into what is. So if you let go of unforgiveness, you can walk into what is. Stop holding on to past hurts. Let them go. I know it hurt you. I know it wasn't fair. I know it, you didn't deserve it. I know sometimes you don't even know where it came from. But all you got to do is let it go and say, God, I release this. Help me release this. I want to move forward. I don't want to keep being stuck in this same place with these same feelings. I don't want to be bitter. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be hard. I want you to help me soften my demeanor, because I held on to this for so long. It has become a part of me. Now I really don't know how to let it go. But God, if you begin to show me, I promise you I'll begin to walk in it. I'll accept what you're saying, because I don't want to walk in unforgiveness. I want to walk in forgiveness. I want to walk in love. When I say I love you, I want you to know I mean what I say. I'm not harboring any ill will. So I want to be able to let this go. Unforgiveness is not something that you need in your life because it causes more damage to you than to the other person. So, in order for you to be better, release it, let it go. And the last thing I want to say about unforgiveness, did you know that unforgiveness will hinder your fellowship with God? It will hinder your fellowship with God. Jesus said that if you forgive men when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. If you do not forgive men their sins, your Father will not forgive your sins. In the ongoing relationship with God, if we do not forgive others, He doesn't forgive us. So if I'm not right with you, then I'm not right with Him. So we have to make sure we have right relationships. Do what we can to have those relationships be right. You know, sometimes you can and sometimes you can't, but you make sure that your heart is pure. You know, my pastor always tell us to make sure our heart is right. And if we know that there's nothing there, then we move on and say, God, it's in your hands now. You know, because we want to make heaven our home. I don't want anything that's going to hinder me from getting to see my Savior. After all I done endured on this earth, I don't want anything like unforgiveness to keep me from seeing Him. I don't want anything to keep me from getting to where I need to get to. I don't want anything to keep me from my next level. I don't want anything to hold me hostage anymore. So I release that. So in order to move on, sometimes you got to let it go. You know, there's a song that says, look like another love TKO. So sometimes you just got to let it go and let it go and let it be and say, God, I'm done. I forgive them. I move on. I want you to create in me a clean heart and renew within me a right spirit so I can have a clear mind, that my heart is clear, that I'm good with this. So God, I thank you that you're going to help me move forward from this. You know, unforgiving is just a state of emotional and mental distress that results from holding on to something that you should have let go of a long time ago. So, whatever it is that you're holding on today, I want you to ask God to help you release that thing, help you to let it go so you can move forward, so you can have peace, Jesus peace, not the world peace, but Jesus peace. Because when you have Jesus peace, that's the peace that passes all understanding. That's the peace that will quiet you down. That's the peace that'll calm you. That's the peace that will help you sleep at night. So knowing that your conscience is clear and your heart is right. So please, for today, I want you, if you don't remember anything else I said, remember that forgiveness is just literally letting it go. So let it go, move on. Don't walk in unforgiveness. Don't harbor it. Just let it go and be content with it. God, I know I did my best. I'm okay with it. And, you know, sometimes it doesn't mean that it's always a person. It could be a job or something that happened on a job and you felt like it could have went another way, but it didn't. And you felt some kind of way about it and it made you bitter. Release it. Because what's for you is for you, and what God has for you is for you. So maybe that wasn't the door for you at that moment. So sometimes we get bitter and unforgiving about certain things when we thinking that it should have opened when you wanted to open. But you know, everything happens in His timing, and His timing is always the right timing. His door is always the correct door. So today, I hope I have said something to help someone. Remember, don't walk in unforgiveness, because unforgiveness will keep you shackled to your past. So let it go so you can move forward, knowing that you and God can do all things. As long as you keep Him in your life, He'll help you whenever you need help. He'll help you carry the burden. He'll help you release it. He'll help you get to the next level. All you got to do is ask Him. All you got to do is ask Him. So forgiveness is for you, so you can move on. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And y'all have a great, great Thursday.